Hi, friends. Welcome to today's reading lesson. Today we're on lesson 3 in Journey to Meaning, part 1, which is character traits. Character traits are pretty deep, so we're going to be doing this in at least 2 parts. Our learning target for today is I can notice and name important character traits using the text as evidence. The things you need are graphic organizers, there's printable versions, and there's ones that you can type on, or you can just draw them onto paper with pencil. And you will need some independent reading books or Raz Kids. Let's get started. So we've been discussing our main and supporting characters. Well, today we're going to come up with words that describe a character's personality. So it's going to help us describe how the character acts, speaks, or thinks. So, for example, if we think back to a story we did last week called The Dot, right? The little girl, Vashti, she was very frustrating with her drawing, right? She stared at a blank piece of paper and couldn't do anything. Well, after her teacher encouraged her and told her, just do anything, she started getting the idea that she could do more. And then her teacher framed her picture, and she was determined, Vashti was determined to keep drawing and to get better and to make bigger dots and smaller dots and colorful dots. So when we are reading, we can take notes or jot some of our noticings on post-it notes or in a notebook, depending on how you're using your tools. Okay, so this word determined means never giving up. Here are some character traits that we might come across in our reading. We used these character traits last week in our writing lessons as we started coming up with ways to describe our characters. Okay? So here we can take a look at some of our cheerful and friendly character traits. This kid is showing us how to be brave or courageous, hardworking. This kid with his hands on the hips, he's a little angry, maybe disrespectful, dangerous, mean. This girl over here, she could be rude, nosy, maybe a little sad, selfish. Down here, these friends are shaking hands, so that's friendly, fun, gentle and honest, nice, playful, respectful. And this girl over here might be a little silly or playful, funny, curious. So there's a lot of different words we can come across in our reading to describe our characters. If you would like to have a bigger copy of this list, you can click right here to find a bigger list and one that you can print out. So we're going to practice. I don't know if any of you have seen this. It's one of the Pixar shorts. So it's just a short little video clip. And it's about these birds, these little birds who are all hanging out. And then a bigger bird comes to sit by them. And I want you to think about some of these character traits from this list as you're watching the video. And see if there's anything that you could be like, oh, that bird is blank, and use one of these words. Okay? As you're watching the video, I know it's fun and it's funny, but please make sure we're whole body listening. Okay? Double check over here to make sure that you are. And when you're done, we're going to go to the next slide, and I'm going to show you what I think about these characters. I hope you enjoy it. All right, I'll see you when you're done. Friends, we're back. I hope you liked the little video for the birds. That's what that video is called. So I made this graphic organizer, and you are going to use one too. I'm going to explain what I did. So first, I wrote the title. So this wasn't a book, this was a movie or a video. So I just called it For the Birds and title. Then we have a section for our character, a spot to put our character traits, and evidence. Remember, we are investigators. So you are investigating evidence that tells you why the character might be this way. So we were supposed to think and think about the characters in The Birds. So the first character I thought of was those little birds, the ones who are like beep, 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 sitting on the line, sitting on the telephone line. I thought that they were kind of mean. I would call them mean as a character trait. And this is why. So this is where your evidence comes in. I think that the little birds are mean because they laughed at the big bird when he tried to sit with them and the wire sunk. Right? He sat on it and they were like laughing at him. That wasn't very nice. They also did it when he was honking. In the same video, there was another character and it was that big bird. I think that he was pretty friendly. So I used the character trait friendly. So I think the big bird was friendly because he tried to sit with the other birds and he wanted to be friends. To me, that's an example of someone being friendly. I'll do one more example, okay? So in the dot, we said Vashti was the main character, and we talked about this on an earlier slide. I think that she's determined. So here we go again. Here's our sentence. Vashti was determined because she knew she could make a better dot, so she kept trying and trying, right? She didn't give up, persistent, determined. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a chance to do a graphic organizer too. First, you're going to choose and read a fiction book. Okay, so if you're on your Raz Kids account, your fiction series, you'll go to Reading Room and then fiction with this little monster. We don't want a book full of facts. Okay, that's not going to help us for this lesson. So you're going to find a fiction book. You also can do one from home. If you're watching this in school, you'll use a school basket, or you could just go onto Raz Kids or Epic. Find a fiction book. Then I want you to identify the main character of the book. Who's the main character? Remember, we remember who it could be by how often their name is said. Are they on most of the pictures? Is their name in the title or on the cover? Next, you're going to use your character trait chart to determine at least 2 character traits that best describe that character. So the birds we said could be mean or bullies, right? Because they were picking on that big bird. If you need help remembering some of those character traits, you can just flip back in your slides or click right here and it will bring you to the slide full of character traits. After, you're going to choose a graphic organizer to fill in with your findings. Okay, so you can see my model. Click right here to go back and see my model. Okay, for an example. You can also print these graphic organizers to type in them or draw in your own notebook. I want you to read for about 10 minutes and keep track of your timer. But again, this is independent work at home, so if you need more time, don't worry about it. So here's your first graphic organizer choice. This one's a little more challenging. This one you have to type the whole time, and I know you guys can do this. But here you would type the title of the book you read, who the main character is, what character trait they have, and you can click here again to go see that list, and why. Okay, so this is choice number 1. Or you could do choice number 2. This is choice number 2. So it's the same thing. You can type in each of these boxes, the title, the character traits, and the why, the evidence. But over here, you can click on each of these for mean, sad, silly, determined, and friendly. And all you have to do is drag this over. Okay, and when you drag it over, you'll put it in the character trait box, and that will help you with some of your spelling. Okay. If you did print out one of these 2 graphic organizers, or if you wrote it in your notebook, please take a picture of it and upload it onto this slide so your teachers can see your work. Friends, I hope you liked today's lesson, especially that video for the birds. It's one of my favorite Pixar shorts, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow to go over part 2 of character traits. Bye-bye.